the kids who are, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6, just really want to be there. And
Right.
honestly, most of the time when I say, what do you want for Christmas? I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. Right.
But I have got 2, it's unusual to get something this strange twice in the same year. It was, I want a live unicorn.
Wow.
I want a live unicorn.
Specifically a live one.
And they say, if you can't bring me a live one, bring me a stuffed one.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Hustle on Purpose. Happy Christmas Day, and in the spirit of Christmas, we have a very special guest. We have Santa Claus in the studio today.
It's so good to be with you, Sonny.
Santa, I'm so glad you're here. I know you had a crazy busy night last night.
It was an eventful one. The weather was okay. I think the food that was left out, people think Santa likes cookies and milk, and that's okay. But the Boudreaux's down South Louisiana left some tasty alligator bites.
Oh, awesome.
Just the best, yes.
Shout out to South Louisiana.
That's it. You got it.
Were you able to get to all the people on the nice list?
Yes. And, most people are on the nice list. There's only a few that aren't on the nice list.
Okay.
And,
like 95%, 5%?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I let people slide a lot.
Good.
It's a good gig if you can get it, GT.
Yeah, I think it's all yours for a little bit. I'll never be able to grow that beard, I don't think.
Well, it takes a while.
Yeah. I've told my wife if I don't get any gray by 40, I'm going to add it.
You should.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask for it for Christmas.
I can help you out.
A touch of gray.
When your kids get a little older, it just happens.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what I hear. And there'll probably come a day that I'm like, regret asking for it. I'll probably have a bunch. That's okay. So do you prefer going by Santa? What's the name you prefer?
Just Santa. Professionally, I usually am called Santa Daryl.
Okay.
And that's kind of common in the Santa world.
Okay.
Santa Daryl is on most of my stuff.
Yeah.
So that goes a long way. But I answer to hey you, Santa guy,
Santa guy. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. Like I just get, if somebody shouts initials, I just assume they mean me.
Sure.
Because I get JT and stuff like that all the time, and
sure.
I just kind of go with it. But if somebody shouts Santa,
I usually look.
Yeah.
I usually look around.
Yeah.
So even this time of year, and when I get out of this and wear street clothes, and I'm in the store, sometimes kids will, be with grandma or mom, and there was a couple of years ago I was in Lowe's and just had a knit cap on.
Right.
And I saw a little girl when she came in, and she was Santa. And Grandma brought her back and said, "Are you a Santa?" And I said, "Yes, I am.
I'm the Santa."
And she said, "Well, can I get some pictures?" And I said, "Yes, you may." She was all in. The girl was all in.
Yeah. I imagine, you can just kind of see out of the corner of your eye, like kids whispering at their parents. Like, yeah. Oh, that's great. So how did you get into being Santa?
Well, I would like to tell you that it was just like in Tim Allen and the Santa Claus.
Yeah, the magic took
that's
over.
Not really how it happened, though.
He was like instantly just like Santa.
Yeah, you find me dead, it's your fault, you're Santa.
Right, yeah.
No, actually, I guess probably 6 years ago now, my wife, I've always had a beard ever since I was old enough to have one. And but it wasn't this long and it wasn't white. So when it started turning white, one day my significant other, my wife, I always still call her my girlfriend, and she is still.
Deb the Great is what we call her.
Deb the Great, yes. Yeah. Anyhow, she said, "You would make a good Santa." And I thought, that's never something I wanted to do. So I thought about it some more, and I said, "Do you really think I'd make a good Santa?" And she said, "Yeah. You got the whole thing going on."
Yeah.
So I started growing the beard out, and I went online and, Santa school, Santa books, whatever. And I did some classes online and just kind of learned the basic, little things like when pictures are made, you always wear gloves and you always make sure you can see both hands in the picture, just all that kind of stuff, and how to handle kids and how to handle unhappy kids and how to handle a pushy parent and, those kind of things is all very helpful. But there's nothing like just actually doing it for a while.
Right.
And that just helps you get in the role and get in the feel for it. And
Right.
kind of knowing what you're comfortable doing. And for instance, when a parent wants a picture and the child is not happy about seeing Santa, some Santas will just say, I'm not gonna do that. Don't force your kid to do this. And I'm like, it'll be funny in 10 years. So
Yeah.
if you're good, I'm good. So let's try.
Yeah.
And it's always up to the parent. But
Yeah, that's a good
the
rule
kid's
of thumb.
too bad.
Yeah.
If I can't keep him on my lap, it's just not working. But
Yeah.
those are very, very few. Most kids.
Well, in which most parents at that point will be like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
trying.
Yes.
Because I've been in that place before. And
Yeah.
it's weird with kids, the relationship with Santa seems to have like an ebb and flow to it.
Yes.
Like babies are cool with Santa. Then there's this 1 or 2 years maybe where they're like really kind of freaked out.
Yes.
Then they get a little bit older and they're back like in love with Santa.
Yes, that's very true. We joke about my son who was he was a Santa agnostic for a couple of years, and then he decided, it's pretty good. I might better get back in. But
This guy brings the presents.
yeah. So yeah, it's also funny because when I was younger, before we had kids, I'm not going to tell my kids about Santa. Just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I had all these reasons why.
Right.
And then we had kids.
Yeah.
But we always approached it like, well, what do you think? Can Santa fly with these reindeer? Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
And we never made a huge deal of it, but we let them enjoy it. And,
Yeah.
my son, when he got over it, it wasn't a big deal. My daughter was a little bit different. She had a meltdown. She all her holiday heroes were eliminated in one day. So it started with the Easter Bunny, which we never really pushed Easter Bunny, but she just, thought that's who her basket was from. So the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and then an hour later she yelled from her room, and Santa too. We said, yeah, pretty much. We'll enjoy the fun of it, but
Pretty much all of them.
yeah. But it's a funny story now.
Yeah. Right. But like a existential crisis when you're a kid,
it's a big deal.
The dominoes start falling, and you're like, "What else have you been lying to me about?"
Right. Yeah, and that was part of my deal early on. But I just realized it's fun, and they'll get over it.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of went back and forth. It got to a point where it's like, it's one of those things that as a parent, it's kind of inescapable, and it. Especially once you get your religion involved in it, it gets tough. You're like,
right.
We let our kids enjoy like the idea of Santa and all of that,
Right.
and to go along with that, because some of that we just kind of felt like it's inescapable, and they get so much enjoyment out of it, and they're
Right.
young, and it's really just a few years in the grand scheme of things that you get to do it and all of that.
Right.
But along with that, we're trying to make a really big push for understanding the real reason for the season,
Sure.
and all of that, just to counterbalance kind of the capitalist side of Christmas,
Sure.
with our like religious faith-based side
Yeah.
of Christmas. So,
And yeah, that's important to me too.
yeah,
And the one thing I really wanted to do when I started this fun side gig was to be a different kind of Santa, in that I love to tell the kids every chance I get is to tell them, you don't get gifts because you're good. And they kind of look at me like, yeah, I kind of think you do. And I just say, no, you get gifts because you're loved. And as corny as this may sound,
that's sweet.
I often pray before I do a Santa thing, like, Lord, help these people, these kids, see somebody who looks like Jesus,
Yeah,
who loves them and cares for them, and who, is not expecting them to live up to a standard that they can't.
yeah.
But to be,
that's really sweet.
just to be loved,
Yeah.
and to be cared for. And I mean, it's always good too to say, do you help around the house? Do you do all that?
Yeah.
Which you should do. I mean, that's
Right.
not holding them to a standard that is unrealistic.
Yeah.
But But yeah, I always just love to do that. And some families I go see, it just depends. If I kind of feel like they are open to it, I'll say, well, do you mind if I kind of end with, bringing it back to why we celebrate Christmas?
Yeah.
And the other thing that kind of helped me thinking through whether this was a good thing to do was, of course, without going to a lot of history and some of its myth and legend, but
Right.
there was a guy named Saint Nicholas, and a lot of the, even in the Santa Claus world, is based on who he was and what he did. A man who was wealthy, story involved that, but he gave it away, and in order to show people love, and that's why he's known for being kind to children and all of that. So I know Coca-Cola's kind of, been in that whole image, but I think there's a real wholesome part of Santa that if it's done right, it's only healthy.
Yeah. It's the message of spreading love and cheer, and it doesn't all have to be about expensive gifts and all of that. And I think that's wonderful, because you've got an opportunity to be really impactful with kids and with families. Because as you know, like, children only listen to their parents so much.
Right.
And one of the benefits you have of being Santa is a lot of kids will listen to Santa in ways that they wouldn't listen to their parents.
Right.
I mean, I know my kids listen better a lot of times when it comes from someone else. It's not me.
And that doesn't change GT.
I'm trying really hard not to throw my wife into that bucket as well. I feel like sometimes she hears things better when they're from someone else.
I get it.
Not her idiot husband.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. You're on the good list, GT.
Thank you.
You're no idiot.
I was worried about that. It was going to be one of my questions is, can I expect a lump of coal for Christmas?
No, I don't know what you have in the bag yet, but it'll be something.
Okay.
It'll be something you like.
That's so wonderful. I mean, I know you personally, and I love that you're a Santa, because I know some people, I'm sure, it's just like any other job. It's like you'll have some people that just get into it for, maybe they just grow an exceptionally great white beard.
Mm-hmm.
But I like hearing that you bring all those other things to it, and it's well thought through, and you also just happen to grow a great white beard.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very important. I mean, there's nothing wrong with gluing on a beard, but it just doesn't look the same.
It's hard to fake a beard.
Yep.
So what's like your favorite part of being a Santa? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful things, but if you had one favorite part.
My favorite part is, I would say two things. One is just the reaction I get when people see me, including senior citizens. They are just like kids.
Yeah.
They love Santa. They love to see Santa, and that they know the whole story. So it's nice to lean in them to say, remember that year I brought you that doll? What color was her dress again? Oh, it was red. I remember. It's just
that's sweet.
It's just it's indescribable.
Yeah.
And then the kids, the younger kids, I love to hold babies and dogs. I joke behind the scenes, don't bring me a cat, but I will gladly hold your dog.
Okay. Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
The kids who are, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, and maybe even 6, just really want to be there. And honestly, most of the time when I say, what do you want for Christmas? I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right. But I have got two, it's unusual to get something this strange twice in the same year. It was, I want a live unicorn.
Wow.
I want a live unicorn.
Specifically a live one.
And they say, if you can't bring me a live one, bring me a stuffed one. And you always end with, I'll see what I can do.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I'll do the best I can for
Is
you.
that part of the Santa training? You always
you
I'll
don't
see
promise.
Right.
You don't promise, but I'll see what I can do. Sometimes if mom and dad are close enough, they'll go and they say, we can probably work that out as long as,
Yeah. You act right.
Yeah. But most of the time it's, I'll see what I can do for you. And oh, that's a very nice present.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
things
very
like
nice.
that. But
Yeah.
I often, as the kids who are a little older, I just say, Santa does not deliver livestock. Like, this is just a big mess in the sleigh. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hand you a sick puppy. It's been flying all night. You know, and they get it. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
so you probably need to pick out your own puppy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every kid needs a puppy GT.
You can tell my wife that. You'll have to try and sell my wife on the
But
puppy.
just bring it home. It followed me home.
Just bring it home.
or Santa brought it
What
to
could
me.
go wrong?
I'll be glad to get you a dog, GT. She'll be fine.
As long as you tell her it came from you.
I'll be glad to.
You mentioned senior citizens. So, like, what kind of events do you do? Do you go to all kinds of places?
Yeah,
I
I've
assume?
done some assisted living homes.
Okay.
Things like that. Also, there's I work at a church.
Yeah.
And there's a senior citizens Christmas party every year. So I know most of the people, you know, there.
Right.
And so, but when I come dressed like this, I'm a different guy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a different guy.
Celebrity.
Yeah, they love pictures and love to get pictures with Santa.
Yeah.
And they're asking me all year, now, you gonna be back to our party next year? I will.
You're like,
I will be
I
there.
still have the beard.
I still have it.
Yeah. Right. I would think keeping the beard year round would be tough.
No, it's actually not.
Okay.
The first couple of years I thought about trimming it. I did trim it a little bit, but after that, you know, it's nice to be, you know, have the look all year.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
may trim it just a tad, but
Yeah. You're
it's
ready
fun.
to go year round.
Ready to go.
Santa in
anytime.
July.
I have done some couple of birthday
Really?
parties.
Yeah.
You were at one.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. My
so
nephew.
yeah, the kid wants a Santa party. You just
You give him a Santa party.
you give him a Santa party.
That's right. That's great. What so you do all kinds of events. What I mean, corporate events and stuff like
Yes.
that as well.
Yeah, I'm not one to want to sit in one spot for hours.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like that, but I very much enjoy having a varied menu, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I do house visits where you come in and you have a general idea what you're getting into, and
Yeah.
hopefully you know the kids' names. If there's more than 5 kids, I don't try and learn the names ahead of time because you just maybe younger guys could, but when you get Santa's age,
Right.
But if there's 4 or 5 kids, I'll how old is the child and the name that goes with that age, and you can usually tell. Oh, so you must be,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that ends starts with a good note too. They kind of loosen up and they
He
they're
knows
in.
my name.
Yes,
I must be on the
you must
the
be on
nice
the good
list. You're on a list.
On the list, so one of the lists.
Yeah, you're on one of them.
But when you go to a home and you knock on the door and standing with your staff and get your pose, and they open the door and they're like eyes just, that's just the best ever.
Yeah.
Um,
That is sweet.
and the other thing I wanted to do when I got into Santa was I said I am not going to wear a cheap suit.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And so I got one made, place in Hollywood that's known for all kind of
Yeah.
outfits, and they custom make it to your size.
It's amazing.
And it's been worth every penny.
Yeah.
Worth every penny. Although the first year is kind of like, I can't believe I spent this much money
On
on a Santa suit.
Right.
But all things told, I mean, I don't want to sound commercialism, but I made it back fairly quick.
Yeah.
And so now it's just keep it clean and
Right.
it's
Which is
always
probably kind of hard with.
I generally don't go to places where there's food other than these cookies, of course.
Yeah.
But no chicken,
Right.
been
I'm
invited
just
to that kind
surprised
of
some
thing.
kid hasn't stuck a red sucker right in the middle of the fur. or something.
They haven't yet, but it could happen. Could happen.
I was going to ask you, one of the most, as I have my own small kids, I'm amazed that you can stay healthy through the Christmas season. Cause you come into contact with enough kids, it seems like you're just bound to have pink eye in both eyes and
Yeah.
all the colds and
It's believe it or not, that's never been an issue. I've been just ill in general before.
right.
You can cut this out if you want, but I went to one party at people's house, and I had just started some new medication, and Santa got sick in their house. I'm like,
no.
oh, this is the worst ever. So
Yeah.
I told the lady, I'll refund your money, which I did, and I said I'll get your carpet cleaned, which I did.
Oh no.
But the funniest thing, it's like I can't hold this. I'm physically ill.
Yeah.
So I was doing my thing, and a little kid in the back of the room said, "Santa's sick." I'm trying not to laugh. So yes, dude, I am.
Too many
sick.
cookies.
Yes, but there was a magician there too at a
Oh,
birthday
wow.
party.
Okay.
And so he was like, "Hey kids, come look at this." And I'm like, "Thank you, dude."
Thank you. Thank you, Magic Man.
Magic Man, do your thing. But yeah, normally, even if I'm not feeling great, you get there and you get in the mood of it, and
Right.
I can make this 3 hours. It's great.
Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. So yeah, but I do stay fairly well considering the number of kids
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, yeah, it just, it would be tough. I feel like I have a hard time staying healthy, and I'm really just around like the 3 that are at my house.
Yeah. Yep.
What about, do you have what's like the craziest Santa story you have besides getting sick?
Oh, I'll tell you one of the most fun episodes I had was I was in an accounting firm, tax and accounting, downtown Little Rock, and nice building, up. And so the lady who was hosting the event showed me around and walked out on their balcony, glass terrace all around. It was a great place. Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So we went back in, and there were a few minutes before they were supposed to start. It was a Santa for all of the employees' kids. So before it started, we walked by a couple of offices, and I said, "Hey, does that guy in that office have a good sense of humor?" And she said, "Yeah, he really does." So what's his name? I said, "His name is Gerald." So I just popped in his office and sat down in his comfy chair and said, "Gerald, I have a problem." And he said, "What's that?" I said, "Well, the IRS won't let me write off 365 days of reindeer feed. They're telling me I only use them one day a year. So they're only letting me take 1/365th of my annual year, and I just can't get anywhere with them."
Yeah.
And he thought a couple of minutes, and he just played right along.
Just went
For it.
Yeah.
And finally he said, "Are you an American citizen, U.S. citizen?" And I said, "I don't believe I am." "They have no case," he said.
Oh, that's so good. I love that you just went right with it. They have no case. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I guess if you're not a U.S. citizen, it's like
Yeah.
the property and sales tax in the North Pole is probably not bad.
It's not bad. And I know you talk about real estate here some too. Well,
Yeah.
I was very blessed, I would say, that my predecessors at the Real Santa from one to the next, invested at the North Pole way early on. So
Yeah.
have you seen the movie, what's the name of it? The Polar Express?
Yes.
It's bigger than that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, I'm kind of rent-free because everything's paid for.
Yeah.
And they leave me alone up there.
Yeah.
It's a great gig.
That's great. Yeah. Well, and not much taxable income to speak of because
I give it all away.
yeah, you give it all away. So yeah. The North Pole real estate, you'll have to show me around up there sometime, see if there's any deals.
Come on up.
See if we can.
And I'll find you a puppy.
I'll become the slumlord of the North Pole. We'll start renting out to the lower income elves, and they need a place to stay too.
I get it.
Oh, that's so good. I love that accountant story. That's you found an accountant with a sense of humor. That's great.
I don't know how many there are, but I found one.
It's like engineers and lawyers and stuff like that. I love talking to them, but a lot of times
they
very
have
literal.
a different mindset.
Right. Very literal. Yeah.
Yep.
You mentioned kids being afraid of you before. I'm sure that happens all the time. What are some of the best ways you deal with kids? Because if you know how to calm down children that are freaking out, that could be valuable information to me.
I get really very few that are really not happy and not going to do it. But most of them, I've tried to learn. For instance, there is one event that I do every year where it's a breakfast or a brunch with Santa.
Yeah.
And so I'm enthroned and all this stuff around me. And when the kids come in the door, I can see them and they have to sign in, and it takes a minute to get to Santa. So I'll try and just watch while they come in and wave at them with the good Santa face before they even get to me, and then they're like, yeah.
That's
so
smart.
when they get there, it kind of calms them down a little bit. And then when they get right at the front of the line and they kind of look at me like, okay, am I going to do this? Then I just lean over and put my arms out, and most of them will just run on up and give me a hug. But the few that don't, it's really up to the parent whether if they're going to get a picture.
Yeah. How far are we going to push this?
Yeah. And I'm pretty much good as long as the parent's okay. And there was one a couple of weeks ago that was just really, really not happy. And I said, well, I'm willing to try. I said, if you're okay, I'm good with it because this will be funny in 10 years.
Right.
Right now it's not.
Yeah.
And most parents would say, yeah, let's go ahead and try.
Let's get the screaming picture.
Because it's a good one. So, I try and hold them as, without.
Right. Yeah.
Without doing that.
Yeah, it's a fine line.
But I get that so seldom.
Yeah.
That it's unusual, I would say, in my experience.
Well, that's great.
Get a screaming kid.
Yeah. Well, that probably speaks to just how good of a Santa you are.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, we were one time, my niece Lily, who you obviously know, she was staying with us, and it was before my wife and I had kids, and she didn't want to brush her teeth, and Anna was like, we have to brush her teeth. And so Anna asked me to hold her head so she could brush her teeth. And Anna's like, will you hold her head still? And I'm like, I can hold her head still, but like, how much harder do you really want me to hold her head?
Sure. Right.
It's like, we can keep her still. Like, it's a real fine line between tight and too tight.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And she would be afraid of Uncle GT for quite some time
forever.
in the future.
Yeah. Well, and and she was, the strawberry toothpaste was spicy, or it's like it's just kids being kids.
Yep.
But well, I am so glad that you came. I know you had a crazy busy night last night delivering presents, and you probably got to get some sleep and get the reindeer home. And are you getting ready to?
They get January off.
They get January off.
Yeah, we
That's
start
good.
training in February.
Okay, and start making the next year's presents.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Anybody that needs you to come visit them in Central Arkansas, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yes, I will have a website up.
Okay.
Hopefully mid-year.
Okay.
I've got the domain, but there's nothing there yet.
Right.
It's littlerocksanta.com.
And we can put that in the description as well.
Yes, so you can look it up now. It'll just say, come back later or whatever it says when you get there.
Yeah.
But my email address, again, I have all of this. It's just not online yet, but it's just Santa@littlerocksanta.com.
Perfect.
So, of course, this year's over and done, but
yeah,
I start booking mid-year.
Yeah,
So
on to 2024.
That's it.
Yeah, excited for you to get a month off and get some rest.
Yes. It's good. Mrs. Claus wants me to do a lot of stuff around the house in January.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And I'm like, I just have a few more football games to enjoy.
Right, just
So
a few.
Let's do that.
Right, yeah.
Some beverages that Santa enjoys that he can't do while he's driving the sleigh.
Right.
All of that
Yeah.
goes into it.
Yeah, I imagine the honey-do list while you're busy with Christmas just grows and grows.
Oh, I just ignore it.
Yeah.
I love her dearly, but you just got to kind of make your own way through it.
Yeah, I understand completely. Well, this was so good. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you and your family have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy New Year. If you need Santa to come visit you in Central Arkansas, be sure to reach out to Santa Daryl. He's the best. And thank you all again for watching and listening. We'll see you on the next one, and hustle on purpose.
Merry Christmas.
Finding affordable quality property and casualty insurance can be a pain, but Little Rock-based JTS has the protection real estate and property owners need. From liability and property coverage to plans for loss of rent, renovation projects, and more. Just give Matt Barger a call at 501-231-1611. He even has markets for short-term rentals like Airbnb, as well as vacant, owner-financed, and rent-to-own properties. Call Matt today at 501-231-1611 or email him at matt@jtsfs.com. The most common question I get asked is, GT, how do I get started in real estate investing? And my go-to answer is to go talk to Robbie Cole at Benchmark Home Loans. Robbie will help you figure out the best loan option for you in your current situation and help you with long-term planning as well. He gives out free advice 7 days a week, and he would love to help you. So if you're one of the people that's been afraid to start that conversation, I encourage you to stop right now and call 501-777-9995 so that you can start your investing journey or take it to the next level. Once again, that's Robbie Cole at Benchmark Home Loans, 501-777-9995. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video as much as we liked making it, be sure to check out another one. You've got one here. You got another one over here. If you want to listen to the podcast audio only, go check out the Spotify link in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps us out a ton. And please hit the bell if you want notifications anytime we drop a new video. Hope to see you on the next one.